Hey FlossTube, welcome back to take 2 of Leslie is More Scattered Than Usual. I'm Leslie, Fat Cat Flossing, and I am playing catch up again because this is my second take at this nonsense today. I was experimenting with recording on my laptop. My laptop has been basically out of service since, I don't know, 13 months ago, right after we moved, because I just left it sitting in its bag on the floor of the office/craft room. And apparently one of my girls was in heat, and cats in heat can be kind of pissy. And when I say pissy, I don't just mean that they have a bad attitude. I mean they pee on things. So somebody peed on my computer bag, and I threw it away because it was beyond salvaging. And when I threw it away, apparently I threw the power cords for the laptop away with it. So I just recently got a new power cord for it. So the laptop is back in service and is working, but apparently the camera resolution on it is god-awful because I did this once and you couldn't see any colors. I don't have a real good light in here anyway, but it was god-awful. And the microphone sounded like I was talking from the bottom of a well. So, take 2. And fair warning, it's colder than blue blazes outside, and I am in the office. I have all 3 dogs and I don't know, 6 or 7 cats in here with me. So you're likely to hear animal noises. They're not me, usually. But you'll probably hear me squirreling at people because they can't behave themselves for 2 consecutive minutes. So anyway, that's why I'm here. Something to distract me from the cold and nastiness. Because let me tell you, it is cold enough that I would actually like to have a hot flash. That might warm my feet up because they're pretty cold. And I've got on socks and shoes and they're still cold. Yeah, hot flash or the electric blanket. Either one of those sounds pretty enticing right now. But anyway, moving right along. Things have been interesting at my house the last few days. Steve came home from work on Friday with a man cold. And you know what the man cold is, right? You know, when the man has a cold, he's so pitiful, he can't do anything. Whereas women, when we have a cold, we have to just suck it up and go on and do whatever it is that needs doing. And I love my husband, and he's a good guy. And he works real hard, but he was pretty pitiful on Saturday with his man cold. We had to go to the grocery store so he could get orange juice because he thought he needed the vitamin C. And comfort foods like mac and cheese and nachos and anything else he thought he might want to snack on. Here's one of my bad kittens. This is Beauty, Bumblebee. One Beautiful Thing is her name. She's a little blue lynx point girl. She's staying with me to replace her mommy in my reading program. And she's in here running amok with everybody else. So, anyway. Steve's got the man cold. I felt the need to do stitch and stuff. So, anyway. And because he's got the man cold, I am drinking tons of this, I think it's Tazo Immune Support Tea, which is real tasty, but I may have put a bit much honey in there down at the bottom. I use honey to sweeten it up instead of sugar. But anyway, so we had a lot of couch time over the weekend. But Steve's kind of weird. He loves to watch TV. If he's in the house, the TV is on. I'm much more of a reader than a TV watcher, although now I've become a FlossTube watcher. He says I'm obsessed. I don't get it. I don't know why he would say such a thing, just because he's watching TV and I'm sitting there with my iPad and my earphones in watching FlossTube. Yeah, might be slightly right. But anyway, talk more about that in a little while. So what have I been up to? Well, on Friday, before the man cold man came home, I got another project bag done. This was one of those, since I'm the crazy cat lady, I have to have the cat prints. It's got a kitty with all her babies on it, and the backside's got another crazy looking cat on it. And I worked on this son of a gun. It's from Vanna's tutorial, by the way. Really easy to do. But I had the worst time. See, if it doesn't match up just right, that little kitty's head is all cattywampus. So, got to try to match it up just right. Because this piece of printed stuff that I made it from, it was almost impossible to cut it. And well, you notice it's not cut, so it's really centered, because over here is the next cat. I did the best I could. I like it. It's got a cat. It'll hold my projects. As, you know, Suzette, the primitive stitcher, says, it's not brain surgery. It doesn't matter. So, you're right, Suzette. It's not brain science. It's not brain science. Rocket surgery. Any of those. Don't sweat the details. It's good enough. I like it. It's got a kitty on it. It's lined with this stripy stuff that kind of coordinates. It was as close as I could get. And then today, I made another one from Suzette's tutorial. This one's got some funky peace signs and wildflowers on it. Same thing on the back. Coordinating stripe on the top. And a pretty yellow on the inside. And this is the first one that I've actually added the rickrack trim to, because this is the first one I've really had rickrack that matched anything I was making. So anyway, 2 more project bags to add to my stack for when I hopefully do a bunch of starts for Mania, because I'm not going to start any more stuff than what I've got bags for. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, so in this project bag, I have one of the WIPs that I worked on this weekend. This is probably one of the older things I have going. I started this in late June, I think. And this is 123 Stitcher Street by Sam Sarah Designs. Still storing my needle in the fabric. And really the only new thing I got done on this was this flower motif that I got outlined here. It still needs to be filled in. And if I hadn't been really distracted watching FlossTube, there would be 2 of those flower tree motifs, because I had to frog one out because, yeah, paying more attention to FlossTube than I was to the stitching. But I made a little progress, and again, if I just sit down and pay attention, I might actually accomplish something. Yeah, sure. And then the other thing I worked on, and then I'm doing this one like Priscilla always says, I'm treating it like it's my job. And I really didn't have any fun stitching on this one this weekend, because this is what I worked on Saturday and Sunday both. This is Lizzie Kate's Things Unseen. And you can't really tell, but in this top, or this border all the way around, I had the gray stitches done all the way around. And I went back and filled in with this color that's virtually the same color as the linen, so you can't really tell that I accomplished anything, which I find frustrating when I'm stitching. I want to, want something to show up, look like I'm doing something. But anyway, I did get that border filled in all the way around. And then I think I've mentioned that I have made a couple of changes here. Like, I didn't particularly like the black letters. Now, I didn't go back and frog them out. I didn't dislike them that much. But in the latter part of the sampler, I substituted in this purple, which is a gassed purple of some sort that I don't remember the name of. Hyacinth, maybe? Something like that. And to kind of tie that in, this line of stitches along the inside of the border was supposed to be the same, this color here, that you really can't see. So I don't really see a whole lot of point in the can't see it stitches, so I'm making it purple. So anyway, I'm working on the border, and besides the border, I have still the little bee motifs to fill in this center part, but I got to look up how to do that pin stitch. And then one more row of stuff down here at the bottom. And then I'll be done. Praise the Lord. And anyway, I am going to work on that one, because I would like to have a finish. I haven't had a finish in a long time. No, stop it. Sorry, dogs are playing and growling at each other. But anyway, like Priscilla says, I'm going to work on this one like it's my job. I'm going to finish that this week. Yeah, till I get distracted with something else, I'm sure. Anyway, it was progress. It was progress. Let me drink some more of my immune support tea here. And weekend before last, not this weekend, but 10 days ago, Steve had to go to Little Rock. And, I called it by the wrong name in my last video. I went to the Shepherd's Needle in Little Rock, not the Stitcher's Garden in Conway, which is also a nice shop. But I love Anne at the Shepherd's Needle. She's awesome. Love her to pieces. So helpful, so kind. Great atmosphere in the shop. Really enjoy it. And I was good. I didn't blow the budget, but I did get a couple of things while I was there. The first of which was, you know me, love Lizzie Kate. And this is a little gray hair. It's a kit by Lizzie Kate. And I think it came out a couple years ago. I don't remember exactly now. But it's not only got the linen and the threads, but it's got the finishing material and the trim and everything in this same little kit. And it's a really quick little motif. And it looks like it'll stitch up in a couple of nights. So I think once I finish Things Unseen, because I am going to finish that sucker, then this is probably going to be the next thing I start. Because, you know, Easter's coming. It's that calendar thing. It keeps rolling around. And then the other thing I got, the only other thing I got, and if y'all knew how amazing that was for me to restrain myself to 2 things, you'd be proud of me, was this. Heartstring sampleries. My home is built in glory. And let me just read you what it says, and you'll see why I just fell in love. It says, Lord, let the sunshine of thy... Trifocals are useless. Let the sunshine of thy face... So clear my eyes and cleanse my heart, that being seasoned with thy grace, my soul may taste how sweet thou art. And then it says, my home is built in glory. And, you know, again, not to beat the horse too much, but it spoke to me. I'm all about knowing that the Lord is present in my heart and in my house. And I thought this was awesome. Until right now, I'm going to have to make one change to it because they spelled taste, T-A-S-T. I'm going to have to figure out a way to squeeze that E in or it will drive me batty. Yep, going to have to do it. And I got a really pretty, this is a Witchelt, and I think it's Joblin. I may be wrong. It's a 28 count. It's called Mixed Berry. And it is Joblin. I was right. It's kind of a sky blue with pinkish burgundy splotches on it. And my living room is basically red, white, and blue. So I thought this would go in there well. So I changed the color of the linen from the, you know, eggshell color that it was stitched on. And then I've also got a couple of gas threads to switch out a couple of the colors to the fancy flosses on it. So the model was stitched over one, and it was simply gorgeous. I mean, it was just gorgeous. I walked by it and just did the, oh my God, I have to have that thing. And I've stitched over one a little bit. I mean, like I've done a face on a Mirabilia and some lettering on various charts, you know, little pieces that I've stitched over one, but I've never stitched a whole chart over one. So that's going to be a new experience, but I'm going to do it, by golly. I'm gonna. So once I finish off the Lizzie Kate Things Unseen and probably 123 Stitcher Street, that's my reward, is to start that one. And then my only other haul is this little chart from eBay, and I think it's by, I never can remember the name of the designer, Full Circle Designs maybe. It's called Eggs in Bloom. It's just a cute little Easter design with the eggs on it. And I've never finished anything in one of these kind of brick, like square shapes. So I'll try that too. It's like $4 on eBay. What the heck? I had to have it. And it comes with the floss and the pattern. So all I have, you know, and I've got bukus of white linen in my stash. So that one's good. And I have decided that 2017 was the year I rediscovered stitching. And my budget took a serious hit because of it. I was very bad. I added, let's just say I had lots of stash enhancement. Lots of haul. Spent too much money. Got bukus of stuff. Now, if you amortize that over the 15 years I didn't stitch anything, it's probably not so bad. But I have lots of stuff left from the 90s. And then, I bought a lot of stuff this last year. So other than my one Fabric of the Month Club thing that I can't remember the name of, I'm going to try to stitch from stash. And I may buy a thread here or there as I need to replace or get something, but I'm going to try to not buy a crap ton of new charts and linens and stuff. I'm going to try to be better. What are the odds? But think good thoughts for me. I'm going to try. And so the only other thing I've gotten was I have treated myself to a subscription to Punch Needle and Primitive Stitching magazine. And I went ahead and did it because if you subscribe before the end of 2017, you got digital access to all the back issues. And Punch Needle is one of those things that I really, really want to try. I've never done it. I think it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like it goes a lot faster than cross stitch. So I'm thinking maybe for my birthday this summer, I will treat myself to the frame and all the other hoop-de-doo pieces parts you need to do the Punch Needle. The other thing that I find attractive about Punch Needle is you can do it with DMC floss, and I have a lot of DMC floss. So yeah, that's in my long-term plans. But the magazine also has cross-stitch patterns on it, so I'm excited about having that. Don't start that. Bella, no. Sorry. Had to parent there for a minute. So that's all my haul. I do have to say some thank yous. I have always thought that through the people I met through stitching, both years ago and then recently, that stitchers must be some of just about the nicest people there are. And I have found that to hold true when I have visited L&S's, this past year, and dealt with people ordering stuff and whatever. And FlossTube has done nothing but bolster that impression for me. My husband warned me. Oh, hold on a second. Stop chewing that. No, ma'am. Not a toy. Get off the desk. Get off the desk. Go on. Get. Sorry. Kitty eating a cord. I knew I heard gnawing noises. But anyway, Steve warned me when I started doing FlossTube that I was probably going to get a lot of people making tacky comments about the fact that I was a fat woman and, had gray hair and, the content or lack thereof of what I was talking about. And I was prepared for that because I have a fairly thick skin. Much more than he does. He really takes things to heart. He used to do this ghost hunting thing several years ago, when that was really a hot ticket. And he put some videos up, and people just made the ugliest, tackiest remarks about, I bet the only thing you found out there was you fat bastard. And just, could have cared less about the content of what he was doing, but just making, I'm sorry, pardon me. Leave it alone. Didn't care about the content. They were just making ugly personal remarks. And I'm kind of the mindset that if you don't have something nice to say, shut the fuck up. So sorry if I offend anybody with that, but my potty mouth does come out every now and then. What I say on my channel and how I look is my business, not anybody else's. And I don't agree with everything that I see on everybody else's channels or everybody that says anything on Facebook or whatever. But again, I kind of, think it's your space to do and say what you please. And I can comment on that. But really, to bring somebody's personal appearance or something in is just inappropriate and uncalled for. But I was prepared. I mean, I worked as a nurse for a long time. I got lots of barnacles on my skin. I'm not real sensitive. But I was prepared for that. And I have not had a single, not one, nasty comment. And I think that simply speaks to the quality of kindness that seems to be universal with stitchers. For the most part. I mean, let's face it, there are assholes in every walk of life. And you're going to run into some of them. And the only thing you can control is how you react to them. And my reaction to them is basically go jump in the lake, which is probably not exactly what I would say, but the more pleasant way to say it, and go on about your business. And if I don't agree with something, it's not really my place to comment on it in your space. My space, I can say what I please. But I just, again, y'all have reinforced the quality of kindness that seems to be universal with stitchers. So thanks. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the thumbs ups and the comments and all the kindness. I do appreciate it. And this was one thing I was very happy to prove my husband wrong on, that people were not leaving nasty remarks. They were leaving kind ones. And thank you for that. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's like Yvonne, the Night Owl Stitcher, who I've been watching like crazy lately. She says it's like visiting across your kitchen table. And I really feel like it's kind of like it. It's, like we're sitting and chatting. And that's really neat, because I don't have anybody around here really that chats that I get to visit with, or that stitches that I get to visit with. So this is my chance to do it, and I love it. I hope y'all enjoy some of it. But back to that kindness. Several videos back, I had posted that I was working on the Henry O'Hare Lizzie Kate kit, and mentioned that if anybody had the other two, the Pansy O'Hare and Patty O'Hare, that I did not have those, and I would like to do them. And a very nice lady by the name of Beth Pierce contacted me and told me that she not only that she had the chart, she didn't have the kit, she had the chart that she had picked up at a, I think she was at a retreat, and it was like one of those pass the stash kind of things. But she had gotten the chart for Pansy O'Hare, which she was kind enough to send to me. So Beth, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. But when I opened the envelope to this, I think it was Friday or so, there was not only the pattern for Pansy O'Hare there, she had included 2 packages of silk threads. Now, I have mentioned I love to stitch with silk. I find it more enjoyable than any other type of stitching. And 3 NPI silks in a pretty mossy green, a kind of taupe beige color, and a bright raspberry pink. And then I haven't tried these. These are from the Silk Mill, which is a type I'm not familiar with. I'll have to do a little research on them. But also a kind of eggshell color, a deep green, and then a mauvey pink. So Beth, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I do appreciate it. Thank you for proving how kind stitchers are, and for sharing not only the chart, but some of your stash with me. If there's ever anything I can share back to you, you just have to let me know. And I'm a big believer in paying it forward. There have been many times that people have lent me a hand on something, and I think we're here to lend a hand to others. So I will pay it forward. And again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I do appreciate it. And then the other real kindness, well, let me tell you a little backstory on this. A couple of months ago, I posted on Stitch Mania and Cross Stitch Addicts that I apparently had a brain spell when I ordered some silks from Silks For You, which is a wonderful company in Australia. They have an Etsy store if you go look, and it's beautiful, beautiful silk thread. Very reasonably priced. Apparently so reasonably priced that I did not realize what I was ordering. And I got 220 yards of 2 different fabrics. And I had posted on, Facebook groups that if anybody had any different colors of that I would like to trade them some of the colors I had for maybe some different colors, because I have more of it than I will stitch if I live to be 100. And Adrienne was the only person who responded and said, yes, she had some and she would be happy to trade. So, she sent me some of hers. I sent her some of mine. So we both got some, another color of silk to stitch with, which was cool. And since then, we have chatted fairly frequently, like via Facebook Messenger, and she seems like a very lovely young lady. And I was again amazed the other day to go to my mailbox and find this, the Prairie Schooler American Primitive chart. And the lovely note she sent with it said, "Thank your son for his selfless service to this great country. Enjoy stitching this in his honor. Stitchy wishes, Adrienne." And Adrienne, thank you so much. Touched my heart. Anything to do with my son just, is over the top for me, because I am so very proud of him and his service. So again, thank you. And I will be stitching something from it. And I'll be sure to let you know when I get it done. But thank you again. I appreciate it. So anyway, those were the 2 kindnesses that people did me. And I appreciate those very much. And hopefully I can pay some forward to somebody at some point here. Which brings me to the last thing I want to talk about. Giveaway. I mentioned in my last video that I used to stitch with frames. I stitched, and I have 3 or 4 frames, maybe more. I haven't unpacked all my boxes yet. I know I have at least 3, and I know there's one Q-snap in addition to the wooden frames, and I think there's another bigger wooden frame packed away with a lap stand. So, I have frames. But this was one that was on top. So, I mentioned in my last video, this is going to be a giveaway for when I get to 550 subscribers. And I think as of today, I was at 491 or 492, something like that. So, getting there. Again, I am just amazed that anybody will watch me. What's up with that? But thank you. Thanks for chatting with me. I do appreciate it. But this is I think I measured it, and you can get a 13-inch piece of fabric in here. They just unscrew. The little scroll rod comes out. You put your fabric in the slit between the 2 parts, and then, tighten it back down. It's in perfect condition. It's been packed away since the late 90s. I was stitching back then, and I sprained my wrist real badly, and it hurt to hold the frame in my left hand. So I took my work off the frame and discovered that I love stitching in hand. It is what I vastly prefer to do. So again, frame to give away, along with this little floss keeper doo-woppy, because I store my threads. The DMC is bobbinated and in those little plastic boxes, and the fancy flosses are all in little bags. So I don't use one of these anymore. And it's also in perfect shape, has a little magnet here to put your needle on. So this is my giveaway for when I get to 550 subscribers. And all you have to do to be eligible for that is you must be a subscriber. And you may either comment or like. And when I get to 550, I will aggregate all the comments and, assign them a number, and then we'll use one of those random number thingamawoppies to choose somebody. But again, I'm amazed, I'm thrilled, and I'm very thankful. Thank y'all for watching, and I look forward to giving this away to somebody to say thank you. And there'll be some more giveaways coming too when we get to some more milestones. But for 550, this one's coming. Must be 18 or older, or have your parents' written permission for me to mail something to you, because you can't legally give me your address. Or I can't legally solicit your address if you're under 18. I own this. Nobody else has sponsored it. Anybody worldwide can enter. And again, you must be a subscriber and comment on either the video from last week where I first mentioned it, this video, and or if I have subsequent videos before I get to 550. At the point we get to 550, I'll put that up and we'll do the drawing and go from that point. But again, thank you all for coming and sharing in my craft room a little bit about cross stitch. Thank you for all your kindness on FlossTube. I sure do appreciate it. I will, in take 1, I talked more about who I'd been watching, and I know Yvonne, the Night Owl Stitcher, was one of them. Really have been enjoying her. And my brain has fried again. Not surprising. But I'll list them down below because they're great people to listen to. So I'll put those in the comments. But I'm at 28 minutes, almost half an hour. Can't believe anybody listens to me for that long. So, thank y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful week. I hope nobody has a case of the Mondays. And hope your week is wonderful. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, y'all. God bless.